Good morning, guys. We are heading into counseling. And as I was kind of driving in, I was thinking about that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough. I've been kind of pondering that the last couple of days and kind of dealing with that in my own personal life. Ever since this divorce from my ex-wife, especially when something as big as somebody you love decides they no longer love you, that can be devastating. I've found myself, as someone who is very prone to stress because I operate on a high level. I'm constantly the type of person that's always trying to do more and more and more. That's a voice that I can find that easily will creep inside my own head. I just wanted to talk about kind of like how I deal with that, how I fight the voice in my head that tells me that I'm not good enough, and hope that maybe it can help you as well. So I figured we could talk about it a little bit as I'm kind of driving into counseling. When I have something that's on my mind, that's what I like sharing with you guys and talking with you guys, because the truth is, I'm no expert. I don't know everything. I'm doing my best. I'm constantly learning. And so, by talking about these things in my vlogs and stuff, it's nice because I get you guys talking about it in the comments. You guys might offer your insights or offer insights that I didn't think about, or maybe a different perspective. If any of this stuff does resonate with you, or if you have anything to add or something, please do share down in the comments your thoughts and stuff on it, because I think that's how we all grow, is by all of us discussing these things together and all of us sharing ways that we found that help us overcome these different things. It's been about 2.5 years now since my ex-wife left. Been about 6 months or so, maybe a little less, since the divorce has been finalized. That really, was kind of the big thing that took a toll on me over these last 2.5 years. Because of the way the court systems are set up against fathers and all of that, having my son kind of taken away from me at the beginning for those first 3 months really did make me feel like I was worthless, like I wasn't good enough. And then on a more recent note, I've really been trying to grow my company, Click Consultants. And Click Consultants is the brand that houses all of my other brands, like this OMG It's Derek personal brand. The truth is, I have people on the line. It's not just me anymore. It's not just Tanner. It's not just my immediate family that I'm providing for. Different people on my team who I had to provide for them and their families. And I had to make sure that the company is providing for them and their families. And that's a lot of pressure. And I'm not saying, oh, poor me, woe is me. That's not what I'm trying to say. Now, I like running businesses. I like having my own business. I like trying to build my own business. And there's lots of joy I get out of that. But that doesn't change the fact that it is high pressure. And when you don't feel like the company is performing at its best, AKA you don't feel like you're performing at your best, that's when that voice can also creep in. Another example is even in just fatherhood, being a single father now. I have Tanner week on, week off. So I have him for a week at a time, completely by myself, where I'm acting as a solo parent. Everything is on me. Everything continues to be on me. And I have to do my best then to be a great father to Tanner. And that's difficult as well and adds a lot of pressure because it's like there's nobody else there. Now, obviously, I have friends, family that help me out. But I'm saying at the end of the day, it's like I have to make these parenting decisions with Tanner and having to juggle work and running my own businesses and things like that. And so then you have problems like dealing with all this and you start getting stressed. What then compounds it is you start to, have your own kind of personal struggles and battles where, for example, again, like the last couple of weeks, like evening hit 6 o'clock and all I want to do is sit on my couch and kind of go into veg mode and watch TV. And not really even watch TV because half the time I'm kind of just spaced out, eating junk food, not eating right, not exercising like I should be. So then you start feeding yourself up for that. And you start, again, that voice comes in your head. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be able to grow this business. I'm not going to become a better father. I'm a lazy piece of shit. All this stuff that comes inside of our heads. But there is also that voice in our head, because I do think they're two distinct voices. Personally, I'm a spiritual person, specifically a Christian, and I believe in the voice of God and the voice of Satan. Any voice in your head that is negative, any voice in your head that is not being positive on you or being a positive impact is from Satan. Any voice in your head that is a positive influence is from God. And you might say,
oh, well, it's just me thinking back and forth.
And I used to think that a lot too, but the truth is there's been times in my life where things have gotten so dark that I wanted to end it all. I wanted to be done with it because I was tired of trying. So going back to kind of sitting on the couch in veg mode, eating junk food and that voice telling me you're not good enough, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to make it. It's then that other voice pops up that sometimes is very, very, very quiet, but it's still there, and we still catch glimpses of it in those moments where it's like, no, 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 you can do this, you got this. I think first and foremost, kind of like talking about how I defeat that voice in my own head is like, and that is simply, you have to listen to that voice. You have to make a conscious decision that no matter what you feel, no matter what that other voice might say, you have to decide that no, Christ came to die for my sins. Everybody in this world makes mistakes. I'm no different than any other human. And if any other human out there that has done great things has done these great things, then I can do these great things as well. You might not be a spiritual person, but even if you're not, that's the awesome thing about God, is whether you are a Christian or not, whether you believe in it or not, it still works. My studying, my diving into things, that's where I've landed. Does that mean I'm right? I don't know. You might believe something else, but my point is, I don't think God cares as much about all that as you just starting to have a relationship with him. I think that starts with choosing which voice you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to that voice that keeps you down and out, keeps you discouraged, makes you believe that you aren't good enough, that can't fit into society, that you're never going to find somebody who's going to love you for who you are, that you're never going to be able to accept yourself, that you're never going to be a great father, that you're never going to be able to be a great businessman, and you're at to work this minimum wage job your whole life, or just whatever the voice is telling you? Are you going to choose to believe that voice, and are you going to do something about it? You have to decide, I'm going to do this. You have to decide, I'm going to believe this. You're going to have to decide, I'm not going to believe this other voice that's telling me I'm not good enough. And even when you decide that, that's a continual thing, because 5 minutes later, that voice is going to try to creep in again. A day later, that voice is going to try to creep in again. A week later, that voice is going to try to creep in again. Months later, years later, even if you have a great 2 or 3 years, something will happen that'll cause that voice to creep in again. And it's a constant fighting of that voice and a constant putting down of that voice. And again, choosing to believe, despite how you feel, choosing to believe the good. And that's a choice each and every one of us has to make. Nobody can make it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to make that decision, and then you have to fight like hell to believe that decision.